Hi everyone, Ken from the Thousand Mile Project here, starting off a new playlist on classical Chinese grammar. It's going to be based roughly on the two textbooks that I'm using by Fuller and Van Norden. I'm sort of synthesizing ideas that I got from both of them and putting my own spin on it. So, part one will be nominal sentences with this character. I believe the modern Mandarin pronunciation is yeah. So let's start off by talking about English. English is a subject prominent language, so most sentences have a subject that performs the action of the verb. I'm assuming that you all know what nouns and verbs are. If you don't, you can look it up. It is placed at the beginning of the sentence, the subject that is. So, for example, in the English sentences, Sarah will go to Paris next year. Drinking alcohol at your age is illegal. It rained this morning. The subject of the verb go, to be, and to rain are Sarah, drinking alcohol at your age, and it, respectively. As you can see in English, because it's a subject prominent language, even though there's really no thing that's doing the raining, it's just describing that rain is happening, it's still necessary for the sentence to make sense for there to be a subject inserted. So the dummy subject it is inserted. Classical Chinese, like most East Asian languages, is a topic prominent language. It usually places a topic of conversation, explicit or implied, at the beginning of a sentence, and then the rest of the sentence acts as a comment about that topic. This part here about how it's explicit or implied is important because in classical Chinese, a lot of times the topic will change from one sentence to the next or mid-sentence without it explicitly being written out. You sort of have to figure it out from context. The topic and the subject of a verb aren't always the same thing in topic prominent languages, so you'll often see sentences that would sound awkward if they were translated word for word into English. An example that I learned when I was studying Japanese from my Japanese textbook was elephants' noses are long. That's a literal translation of a Japanese sentence. But of course, to render into fluent English, you would say elephants have long noses because the subject and the topic are basically always the same in English. So as for what a nominal sentence is, nominal can mean of or pertaining to a noun, so it's basically like a noun sentence. The term nominal sentence is used to describe a sentence where the comment asserts that the topic is a noun or a noun phrase. Now, I assume you know what a noun is. A noun phrase, even I didn't know this until I looked it up for this video. It basically is a noun and any modifiers around it, like the, brown, like in the brown dog. So dog would be the noun and the brown dog would be a noun phrase because it has modifiers the and brown in it. So some English equivalents to a topic prominent sentence or a sentence analyzed in terms of topic and comment would be her favorite food is linguine. This is the topic and this is the comment about it. Saying that he's a genius would be going too far. As you can see, you can have verbs that act as nouns. So saying and going too far. So this is a particle. If you don't know what a particle is, it's basically a character that serves a grammatical function when it's placed in the middle or at the end of a sentence. In classical Chinese and also a lot of other East Asian languages use particles. It's not a verb. Some people say that it's like a copula. Copula is a fancy term for the English verb to be when it's used to equate two things, like John is an engineer. In that case, is being used as a copula. Some people say that this is like a copula, but the copula in classical Chinese is actually a different character, verb character. So anyway, it's a particle, and it can be used in classical Chinese to make nominal sentences. you put it after a list of two nouns or noun phrases, and it equates the first noun or noun phrase N1 with the second noun or noun phrase N2. So for example, N1, N2, yeah, would be N1 is N2, or N1 is an example of N2. Basically, it's saying that N1 belongs to the type described by N2. So the example used in one of my textbooks is the king is a thief. Now, obviously, there are more thieves than just the king, but it's saying that the king belongs to the class of all thieves, so to speak. That's how you sort of envision it logically. So, to give you an example from a real ancient text, I took a sentence from the Analects of Confucius. If you don't know who Confucius is, he's a very famous philosopher from ancient China, and the Analects is the book that mostly contains his sayings and sayings of some of his disciples. So, the sentence that I took is, seeing what is right and not doing it, that's the topic, is cowardice, or is an example of cowardice. So, going over what these characters mean, this one means see, this one means righteousness or righteous conduct. This is a grammatical character that negates a following verb. So it's saying not this. This is a character that means to be, to act as, to behave like. I mentioned earlier that there's a copula in classical Chinese. This is the copula. That's one of its functions anyway. Then moving on to the comment. This is a negation particle. It negates a following noun. Basically, it says there is no noun. This one, this character here means courage. And then, of course, this is the particle we've been talking about. So pulling it all together, it's seeing righteousness, or what is the right thing to do, and not doing that action is to lack courage. I found to lack courage lacked a little fluency, so I rendered it as cowardice, but I could be wrong. Anyway, seeing what's right and not doing it is cowardice. All right. If you're enjoying the video, then please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Have a great day and take care.